the first parallel session of Sunday. We have Amol Padwad from Patel College, Bhandara, sitting to my left, and Krishna Dixit, who is from Yeshwant College, Wardha, both in Maharashtra, speaking about teachers' associations in teachers' lives. First, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the organizers. I work for the British Council. Their biographies are missing from the program, so I do regret that omission. It's a hideous omission. And I would also like to say a few words introducing two people who I have worked very closely with in the last few years. I've been working with the Council. And I first I was introduced to Amol in the ITFL conference in Harrogate in 2007, was it? And ever since then, you know, I've only been supremely impressed with Amol, who embodies in many ways the topic that he's going to speak on, and as well as Krishna. The importance of teachers' associations, teachers' development through networking as part of their professional lives. I was at a very interesting session that my colleagues Claire Prince and Tim Phillips were leading on yesterday afternoon, a coffee shop session, and we talked about a number of things that I think Amol and Krishna will touch upon, but I came away from that session with a wonderful quote from Mithun Khandwala. Mithun, are you here? Mithun Khandwala, are you here? At one of the discussions that we were having about teachers' associations and networks, Mithun made this very interesting observation that a teacher who is not networking is not working. And I think with those words, I will hand it over to Amol and Krishna to take us through what they have promised to me will be a very engaging and interactive session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So we are going to talk about teacher associations, and as Debanjan has rightly said, that if we are not networking, we are not working. Is that right, Debanjan? Yeah. Okay. So we are going to work a little bit in this session, but before we begin, I would like to clarify our position on what we mean by teacher associations. For us, teacher associations are quite different from teacher unions, and we all know that unions are closely related with that one keyword, strike. They keep on demanding several things. So we are not talking about that sort of unions. We are talking about teacher associations as academic communities which focus on developmental activities. And we are going to look at teachers and the relationship between teachers and teacher associations, and we believe that this is not a thoroughly investigated area in the literature on teacher development. And this presentation, as always, I end up with more questions than any right answers or any answers at all. So we are going to look at TAs on professional development canvas, what roles teacher associations play in our lives. We are going to understand teacher associations' contributions to professional development in the form of several activities. And we will finally explore the relationship, the nexus between TAs and teachers. So let's look at some of the familiar teacher associations in the region. LTI, have you got any members from LTI here? Good, thank you so much. So there is BELTA, Bangladesh English Language Teachers Association. We have NELTA from Nepal. We have TESL, an international TA. We have our INET, All India Network of English Teachers, ITFL, SLELTA and SPELT from Pakistan. So before we proceed, this is going to be a workshop and we all are going to work together. So we will end up networking. So, first quick question. I assume that all of us must be members of either one or more than one TA. So, just to kickstart the discussion, how many of you are not yet members of any TA? Have you got any members from, yeah, we have members from LTI already. Anybody from Spelt? No? Nelta? Okay, great. Swelta? IFL? Tisol? Great. So let's quickly respond to this question also. How many times a year you participate in TA activities? Never? Have you got anybody for never? Once a year? Two to 5 times a year? More than 5 times a year. Okay, we have got two persons, okay, who attend TA events for more than 5 times a year. Okay, let's quickly brainstorm this thing. What is your metaphor for teacher association? Yeah, just think for 15 to 30 seconds. Okay. Can we have the mic, please? And as you share your metaphor, please also share the relationship that teachers and teacher associations have in that metaphor.
That associations are not unions. That I strongly agree with that. We are there to associate each other. So in that context, I can say that we can live together and grow together. Live together, grow together.
Okay, right.
I would like to say it's like fish in water.
Fish and water.
Yeah. Just as a fish cannot live without water, so similarly, a teacher cannot exist or cannot function without being associated with teacher association.
So water is teacher association, fish is teacher.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, please.
If I'm thinking of TA, then I will be thinking of the Life School LTI chapter. So what I think, or what we call ourselves is like a family.
Okay.
So we have differences, we have our clashes like in any family, but we are together whenever we have a problem, we share and we do things together. So for me, the metaphor is family.
Is there any head of the family?
Yeah, the coordinator is the head of the family.
So is it a joint family? Or?
Yeah, you can call it a joint family.
Okay, thank you so much.
I would like to give a metaphor of beehive, where teacher association is a beehive, and different teachers are actually honeybees, and we have the queen bee who's the leader. Keeping it in such a form so that the receivers will joyfully take from us.
Yeah.
Probably that is the metaphor I would love to give.
What would you associate honey with?
Honeybees are different teachers, different individuals working at different places.
Okay.
They bring nectar from their nectar of their experiences and change in the classroom practices and accumulate the knowledge so that it is sweet for the receivers, that's learners in the classroom.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing in learners also. Thank you. Yeah, can we have 2 more responses, please, before we proceed?
Yes. A teacher association is for me a tree. A tree holds together, holds its place and holds together all its parts, the branches, the leaves, and then the fruits. And new members just keep on joining, like new leaves and branches, small branches, twigs, and also the fruits. The fruits then regenerate into new trees.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yes, last one.
LTI is a metaphor for LTI for me is a journey by a train, a professional development which never stops. The train stops at different platforms. We travel by the train, and we go through several stages of professional development, of course. And every time you get to meet a new set of passengers, that comes to our experiences that we gain through different seminars and workshops. So it's more like a journey by a train.
Yeah, either passenger train or express train or Duranto.
It shouldn't be express train, of course. You need to keep with the pace of the time. Yeah. So for me, it's a passenger train more than it's a Rajdhani or Shatabdi.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. I agree with that. It should be a passenger train. Yes. Geeta wanted to say something. Yes.
Geeta, I want to ask a different question.
Yeah.
Which is, you're assuming that networking will happen only if there is a TA. What happens if there isn't a TA, but you're talking to friends, talking to your colleagues, getting them to come and observe your classes, sharing your problems, discussing the way you discuss over a family lunch or dinner or an extended family lunch or dinner, cousins, relatives and so on? Is that not networking? Because you seem to think that unless there is a Svelta, Belta, all of those, that unless that is there, no networking is happening. Networking is essential.
Yeah.
But I have a problem with the assumption that there has to be an INET or an LTI or a club for networking to happen.
Now, I mean, as I understand your question, I think we are taking for granted the association, not networking. We are believing that in association there can happen that networking. And the point you are raising is completely different. And I guess personally I feel that even that sort of thing that you have described can amount to TA informally.
True. Yeah. So then your definition of A may have to be modified. That's all I was getting to.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Geeta, I think that's coming later in this session, so I think you are anticipating some of the things.
Fine. Sorry about that.
But thank you for the very valuable interjection.
So when we explored this, we also came across these metaphors. TAs as communities, family, that came up in our discussion here. TAs as garden, as everything grows together, quite interdependent. It's an institution. And finally, TA is a mela, like Kumbh Mela or some smaller mela. Over to Amol for a few slides.
It was very interesting to listen to various metaphors, and the metaphors show different ways of thinking about teachers' associations. But metaphors are also indicators of what we would like to give back to the associations and what we expect from them. This point will come up again later, but I would like to immediately respond to the point that Geeta raised. And we would like Geeta and all others to refer to a small report that Krishna and I wrote together for that experiment we carried out for 4 years on English Teachers Clubs. That report is available on the British Council website under the Hornby Projects link. And one of the interesting insights that we learned in course of that project is there are several kinds of networks that any human being is simultaneously part of. And those networks are very tiny sized networks of just 2 or 3 people up to large networks of thousands of people. And at the same time, we are members of several networks, and each network contributes to our development in different ways. And another interesting thing we found was our membership of smaller networks is often very supportive of our membership of larger networks. For example, many of our teacher club members became members of LTI primarily because they were members of clubs in the first place. But coming back to teachers' associations, I would like to begin with a proposal that if we really want to benefit from our membership of teachers associations, and I mean we are taking for granted that we believe that our membership is beneficial. So if we truly want to benefit, then we will have to first understand what is the role of teacher associations in our overall professional development context. So if we are thinking of our Indian context, this is a kind of broad model that we follow, where a professional has to go through two phases, the phase before becoming a teacher and the phase after becoming a teacher. In our professional journey, in the pre-service stage, we go through some kind of professional training, some kind of professional education, which we believe prepares us for the profession. And then through the induction phase, we are systematically, gradually, with support, entered into the profession. And once we become full-fledged, independent, autonomous professionals, our development continues through lifelong learning or at least career-long learning. These are the main stages that we can think of in our professional developmental journey. Now what happens in reality is slightly, or in some cases very largely different from this picture. What happens is our pre-service education largely consists of courses like D.Ed and B.Ed for primary and secondary teachers. And many of you are aware that there are no such courses for college teachers. College teachers become teachers without any pre-service education. And wherever we have these courses like B.Ed and D.Ed, we have very serious issues about the relevance of these courses, the quality. Do these courses really prepare teachers enough and enough efficiently? The intermediate stage of induction, where the teachers are gradually put into the profession, that induction is missing. In India, teachers are thrown into the classrooms as independent professionals from the day one. As soon as they join the job, they are thrown into the classroom all on their own, and often the freshers are given the worst classes. So right from the first day, you are facing your class independently. The entire burden now comes on the teacher's development once inside the profession. The preparation that should have happened before joining the course, the support that should have been given while entering the course, if those things are not there, then the development inside the profession, what we usually call CPD has to share that lost ground as well. This normally happens only through the in-service teacher training and training programs, because we largely equate CPD with inset training. And these other avenues which also contribute to the development of teachers inside the profession are largely ignored. So this is in many cases, the missing link, or sometimes a very weak link. And you will notice that associations are a part of that. So again, in case of this, we have lots of serious questions. Looking at the same thing in a different way, if I am developing as a professional, in my career development, in my professional development, I have to think of, when I say I'm restricting it, but probably we all have to think of these three different kinds of needs and interests. There are some things which I want to do personally because as a teacher, I am personally interested in them. I believe that they are my needs. So these are teacher needs and interests. There are some other things which I have to do because my school needs them. These are the professional needs and interests of my school. And there are some other things which I have to do in the larger interests of the profession because I belong to the teaching profession. And all the three things are together, they cannot be separated, they are intermingled, interconnected. Usually, the pre-service education, the in-service training programs and other programs which come up whenever there is a need, all these things take care of the school needs and the professional needs. What takes care of my personal needs? And among so many other things which usually are there to take care of my needs, I would include teacher associations. So teacher associations are basically one of the important platforms where I can address my own personal needs. I would go further and say that teacher associations are one of the platforms where there is a potential for a beautiful integration of all these three kinds of needs. So how do teacher associations provide that kind of platform? These are some of the things that teacher associations do. Teaching is a very dangerous profession, very risky profession, and more than any other profession, in teaching we need a lot of affective, emotional support. And teacher associations can potentially provide that. And this is also a platform where we can keep learning without feeling inhibited, without feeling pressures and risks as we might feel in other avenues. And these are the platforms where we also feel awarded if our learning is recognized and we are able to show our achievement. So I would hand over to Krishna and ask him to give some examples of how associations, some concrete examples of how associations do this.
Thank you. So let's take this step further. So we have got here members of LTI, and we are going to look at how TAs like LTI and others contribute to our own professional development. So we are going to focus on some of the key activities. We all are aware that TAs do several activities, and we are not going to touch all of them. We will just focus on 2 or 3 activities, and we have listed here 3 of them. LTI brings out a journal, a bi-monthly journal, and it organizes an annual international conference, plus it has got several chapters across the country. They also organize national and international conferences. And all these activities, again, they offer several things for the teachers. Like journal gives them a chance to disseminate their ideas, whatever experiments they do and whatever studies they undertake. So here is INET, slightly a bit different thing from a traditional teacher association. It has got some discussion forums. INET offers information on events, resources, scholarships and other learning opportunities. It helps, it assists teachers in carrying out research and publications. It also offers some online resources for teaching and learning of English. And finally, there are some ELT projects and consultancy. So there is an international teacher association, IHFL. So it carries out activities like annual international conference. It has got several SIGs, special interest groups. It brings out a magazine which is given to every member, Voices, and it has got hundreds of scholarships. So anything you would like to contribute? Yes, please.
Thank you for the coordination that takes place between you, actually. First of all, I would like to actually, raise a few issues that linger in my mind. One, with the question raised by Dr. Geeta. The second, the role of TAs, as I understand. And the third, in the process of TA, doing things, the role of journal attached to LTI especially, I have some problem with that. One, the question of teacher association or any name that you call is absolutely fine. What Professor Geeta was trying to say was that she had a problem with the term, but I think whether you call it a club or family or something else, there should be somebody who could organize an event, there should be somebody who could actually, let us say, sequence things that help that helps in continuous professional development for teachers and communities in the profession. That is, I think, if that is taken care of, the term does not matter for me. This is one. Second, teacher associations are the ones which actually help other things which help other things happen, in fact. For instance, in your slide, you actually mentioned TAs somewhere in the third position or somewhere else. I think when Professor Amol Padwad was trying to show this slide there.
Can I please request you to keep it brief? We can get more comments.
The last one, that is LTI journal especially. I do not know whether I can actually make myself see in that journal. I'm sorry to make this comment if I hurt anybody. Is there a need for us to, is there a need for us to...
I think this really is not the right platform to raise a question like that. Can we just have a few more voices, please?
This is the question relating to LTI journal, which is brought out in India. You are bringing out that journal for 2 months, every 2 months or so.
I'm sorry, Krishna and I are both not representatives of LTI to give any answer, but there are LTI representatives around, and you also have an LTI stall. So would you please, they will be happy to hear your feedback, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's not a question, it's an answer to your question. What role TA has played in your professional development, right?
We are coming to that, yes. Yes, so, you can go on.
In my professional development, I am a typical ill-trained teacher that you talk about, where I had no training when I became a college teacher. So when I joined LTI and did the first conference in 2006, since then I have grown professionally because I got on a route and I got to know LTI, then I got to know the journal. Through that I got to know ITFL and so on, and got to know, most importantly, the importance of training and retraining in professional development. That is the role that TA has played in my professional development.
Thank you. Can we have another mic?
Yes. Everybody is speaking about LTI only. Why not other associations in India? And that is one point I want to ask. Because yesterday also I participated in that discussion. Most of the people are talking about only LTI. Why not many other associations in India? Because lack of information and propagating in a proper way. So it's a right situation, I think, to make awareness and to give more information on many associations which are available for the all teaching community, not only at college level, at the teaching, that means in the primary teachers level also. So if it is possible, you give the information on all the associations and their membership details. That's one point I want to mention. And another thing is, in the association's website and as well as they are not giving proper and apt information at right time to send papers or to attend the conferences. So if they inform and if they provide the information in well advance, that will be very useful for the members to send papers or to attend the conferences.
I think the association's websites have all the information, and we are not in a position to give any information on that.
Yes.
I think it's thank you. It's a very, very valid point, given that the theme of this conference is diversity, and I think you are making a very, very valid point about the more we have, the better. Actually, when it comes to teachers' associations.
Is there any alternative to TA? Because India is such a vast country and we have the teachers across the country, where these teachers' associations are not accessible by many of the teachers working in the rural areas, in government schools. So is there any alternative to TA that the teachers can access and can just better themselves?
Yeah, what do you think? Let's open this a little bit. The gentleman is asking, is there any alternative for TA?
I feel TAs play a very important role in the professional growth of a teacher, and I personally feel every teacher must be a member of at least one TA for his professional growth. As we have all grown up, through these associations. And of course, the discussion within 2-3 friends is an association. Discussion with colleagues, discussion on a major platform like this, they all subscribe to TAs. So it's very, very important to have a TA membership, at least one. Thank you.
I think many of them asked about the smaller associations that the teachers should have. I think I'm new to this and I'm a parent, but what I think, hearing all the teachers out here, is what we need is smaller cell groups for teachers for every region, every state, every city, because I saw so many people coming from all over the world and so many different states, and when they come here, they're totally lost. I think instead of having an international conference or a national conference, it should be like smaller circle. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, one
quick comment from the chair. Can you please identify yourself by name when you are making a comment or putting a question, please?
Yes.
Myself, Ajay Kumar from Delhi. I would like to respond first to the question of that gentleman. Why LTI? Because LTI is the first, what I came across is a formal organization for the teachers. But your journey doesn't stop here only. I would like to respond to the point raised by that lady also. TA, it's not necessary that we should look upon others every time. It can start at your school level. Then 2 or 3 people coming together having discussions. Then you can attach the nearby schools. This is what we have done in Delhi. We have started a very small group of about 15 teachers of English teaching in different parts of Delhi. We meet once in a month, and we are about to extend the group to a larger group. But point is, number doesn't matter. The most important thing is your intention, your seriousness to share the things with others, and you can start at your own level. You shouldn't all the time look to some formal organizations to come and guide you. Why not? You start at your own level. Of course, LTI is there, other TAs are there, but it comes down finally to you yourself, your interest, and you can start, give a start at your level. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will be coming back to that point you have already made. Yeah, but we will discuss it a bit more, a bit later. Yes. Do you agree that some members benefit more from TAs than others? Do you agree with this statement? That some members benefit more from TAs than others? Well, very quickly. Yes.
I don't know what is the others. That is a big question.
I mean, if there are 1,000 members in a TA, let's say that 400 get more benefit than rest 600.
The question is, do you agree that some members benefit from TAs than others?
Than other members. Some members benefit than other members.
That means inequality.
Not inequality. It's just how teachers get involved with TAs. Is the relationship between TAs and teachers? Yes, Shaila, okay.
I am a member, or rather the General Secretary of the Rajasthan Jaipur chapter. And what we have realized, we founded this chapter in 2009. But its majority of the members are college lecturers. So now we have realized that we have to induct and enroll school teachers as well, and we have been organizing activities which are in a way centered around college lecturers. So now our aim will be how to conduct maybe workshops which would cater to the needs of the school teachers also, so that we can enroll them. We can also provide some kind of support and professional development looking to their specific needs.
I am Hitesh Chandra Bhagat from Regional Institute of English, South India, Bangalore. What I have been listening, that the very concept of CPT should be initiated from our within as a part of personal initiative and a professional calling or duty. And then only we'll be able to benefit from these different associations, these associations. Talking about LTI, LTI is also an official affiliate of TEC Global International, and that's why probably we are talking about LTI, so that we can get a little bit of training to get access to the other global organizations and get benefit from them. That's my submission.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
I'm Uma Shivaram from the Kendriya Vidyalaya Samrita. Like I put up my hand for 2-3 things because I wanted to react. Maybe I'll sum up. There was one gentleman asking, what about those places where you don't have opportunities to come together through a TA? So my reaction would be, in Kendriya Vidyalayas, for example, we have a lot of scope and opportunities for continuous professional development. The recruitment process takes care of, be it this one. Then all the teachers who join undergo induction program, a very systematic program done to tune the teachers to the professional needs. Then talking about the continuous career development, we do have subject committees where teachers can come on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, monthly basis to, assess, review whatever goes on. But what I want to basically tell you is, teachers can get together as small groups, and it basically emanates out of a need. For example, the Central Board of Secondary Education introduced the CBSE ELT project sometime in late 1995. So when this was initially introduced, there was a need for teachers to come together to clarify this one, and we got together and what you call as TDGs, Teacher Development Groups. We formed small groups, got together. We had to sort out so many things, sort out in the sense get to know new things. Similarly now, the CBSE has introduced the CCE, Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation. So people do come together informally. It also takes care of what Professor Geeta talked about, whenever there's a need, we do come together. It may not be through a formal forum, but even informally. And this does not need any official sanction or approval. Like he said, it's an inner calling, a basic need in the institution. It may be in an individual institution or a group of institutions. Then of course, as I said, the Kendriya Vidyalayas cater to the continuous, affords opportunities to teachers for continuous. However, two things. I've been a member of the LTI and have participated in several workshops conducted at the local level as well as regional and national. And the benefit that I've accrued over the years is exposure to various exposure awareness, an opportunity to get myself updated with whatever is happening, the latest happenings in the ELT field. And with regard to whether different members take back different benefits, I would say that it all depends on what your expectations are, or with what you come to the association seeking.
Okay.
If your search is more, definitely you carry back a lot of baggage full of benefits.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's in a way responsibility of the teachers also to get from TA.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I am Shifali Bakshi, head of the Lucknow chapter. Do you agree that some members benefit more from TAs than others? It all depends upon how much the member is participating. I think the objective of all the associations is making learning better for our learners. So why don't all the associations come together, work towards a common goal, and at the same time have individual associations doing their part by helping them? Why should we argue about who's doing better or who's not doing better? Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with your position. Just one last quick comment. Yes.
I'm Manoj. I'm from the District Center for English, Trivandrum, Kerala. I was just thinking about something, initially you differentiated between teachers union and association. Teacher association. But basically from Kerala we have got a problem, or maybe teachers associations are not strong at all and unions are quite strong. So I was just, I got an thinking then, why can't teachers associations look into some of the affairs of the, what do you call, the other benefits of the teachers, like social esteem or something of that sort, you know, on not only purely on the academic level. So I believe that a great number of teachers are opting out of these associations is mainly because it is only purely a personal development they feel, or professional development, what we call. So that interest group is rather minimal in as far as Kerala is concerned. That's what I feel. And unions are quite strong over there, you know, on personal benefits and on teachers' benefits and all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I just add something to that point? Just responding to you, sir. I was thinking about the same thing, but from the opposite spectrum of the question. Why can't teachers' unions take on more of teacher association roles and contribute to something other than purely labor or economic development issues of teachers?
So we agree to say that it depends on the teachers also how to get benefit from teacher associations. So who benefits? We have identified some traits. The members who are a bit active and alert. For example, if the journal comes to them, so they, instead of just going through it and leaving it on the shelf somewhere, they will just go through it, they will respond to some of the things either mentally, or they will just do it and send it or disseminate whatever they feel. They are quite informed. I mean, whatever they do is an informed decision, and they behave responsibly, and they engage with the teacher associations intensively and contribute to enriching the TA. So engage with the TA and teachers who contribute to enrichment of the TA. So in a way, TAs and teachers are quite interdependent on each other. It's neither the TA can do everything, not just the teachers. They have to join hands. So for the expectations, Amol Padwad.
Thanks a lot for the insightful and eye-opening comments and suggestions from you. We are coming to the end of the presentation now, the final part. In the foregoing discussion, you must have realized that we were looking at one aspect of teacher and teacher association relationship. If teachers associations are offering lots of professional development opportunities, then how can we benefit from them? How can we make best use of those opportunities? And probably we realize that a lot of responsibility lies on us. As members, we need to be alert and active and engaged and informed. Then only we can really benefit from all those opportunities teacher associations offer. But now we are trying to look at the other aspect. Suppose the teacher associations do not offer what we expect, what we want. And in order to look at that aspect, let's begin with asking ourselves, what do we want to join a teacher association for? Are there any quick responses? Why did you become a member of teacher association? What did you want to get out of it? Can we have a mic there? And can we just say in a couple of words what were your expectations?
I would say just to update my knowledge.
Okay. The lady next to her?
I'm actually interested as a parent what goes on in the world of a teacher.
Okay, interesting.
To meet with professional demands.
To meet professional demands, and you are trying to be very general demands of all kinds of people, administrators, principals, teachers, school, etc. Fine, thank you.
I really wanted to exchange, not just sharing. I wanted to exchange.
Exchange what?
Exchange my exchange experiences.
Experience.
What works better and what works much better.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Ajay.
I expected two things from LTI. One, getting opportunities to share views with others, or especially learning from experiences by attending all the conferences and seminars, of course. And the second expectation was to get a big platform for myself. so that I can myself present papers and or during the conferences. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And if these are the things you had in your mind, I don't think there will be a simple yes or no answer to that third question, but maybe would you be happy to tell us, did you really get what you wanted? And maybe to what extent you got it? Did you get it fully? Did you get it only partly? Didn't you get it at all? Yes, please.
Yes, I'm Khalik Ahmed from Delhi. Yes, we get so many things from such associations. For example, the journal itself is worth reading, and talking to you is of course an occasion, and meeting people like you over the conferences and at the smallest chapters also. It's a good opportunity to exchange our ideas and share views, and some of the expectations are met, of course, and some of them remains for the next session and next.
Very optimistic. You expect that you will be meeting them in future. Yeah, the gentleman in white shirt there.
I end up getting more than what I expect.
Wonderful. Lovely. Which association are you a member of?
TESOL.
Okay.
And teachers across South India.
Interesting.
And I end up getting more than what I really expect.
Lovely. Yes, please.
Myself is Uttam Kumar Singh from Bihar, BMSP. I'm related to BMSP and its council. We tried to start Bihar chapter of LTI with the help of Uma ma'am. She was master trainer there, and she encouraged us to start Bihar chapter. But now I think it has gone in vain. It has collapsed, Bihar chapter. So I would like to invite LTI association to Bihar to start Bihar chapter.
Are you a member of LTI?
No, I'm not a member now. I tried, I had paid, but I didn't get any.
Please visit the LTI stall and they will guide you further. But is there anyone else willing to tell us if they got what they wanted? Yes, please.
Yeah, it helped a lot to me when I posted a question when I wrote nearly 7 research papers, and immediately one day one of my colleagues he said that without this PhD registration, if you write n number of papers, it's waste. Then immediately I discussed with many people, but I am not satisfied. Then immediately I posted the question in the LTI group, SIG. I got tremendous response from various and professionals who did their PhD, and they are experts in the academic area.
Yes, thank you.
They know guidelines of UGC.
Thank you.
After that, I'm happy. So it's a forum where we can get good topics on the upcoming and advanced topics of research also.
Interesting point, yes.
Thank
Can
you.
we bring the mic?
And I forgot to say my name. I am K. Chandrasekhar from Hyderabad.
Thanks a lot. Yes, actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you your name. Can we have the mic in the front row?
I'm Rajkumar Singh. The question I would like to pose that when you're talking about getting something, you are at the giving something level. So when we talk of getting, you are giving or we are also giving to the association. I would like to give an example of telephone to say a mobile phone. When we started using telephone, that was an era. We had teachers before Teachers Association, we will be having teachers while Teachers Associations are there, and we can have a number of Teachers Association to develop us. So when we started using phone, we had certain expectations, we got them. When we started using mobile phone, we had certain more expectations, but now we have 3G, and maybe in future we'll have many other things which are being offered by using this mobile only. So similarly, Teachers Associations are also growing. Similarly, we are having so many features, so many avenues which are available, and even Teachers Associations are looking at British Council, RELO for further support. So it's a continuous process, and it's evolving, it's growing, it's happening. So it is a matter of giving and getting both. So if you expect, if you really want, you'll get a lot from Teachers Association as a teacher. If you don't want to, you'll not get it.
Thank you. That's a very interesting metaphor, and there are two lessons for us in that, I suppose. One is, it's not always bad to be dissatisfied with the association, because if you feel completely satisfied, then you are likely to remain idle. And secondly, your expectations are not fixed for all or forever. As the times change, the associations keep changing and our expectations keep changing, and that's a wonderful growing opportunity for us as members and for our associations as well. This is just a random list of things we keep hearing from people why they join, and some of those you have already mentioned. We go to teacher associations to be aware of what developments are taking place. We are seeking opportunities for learning. We go there for networking. We go there for sharing. But we also go there to have additional API points on our CVs or something similar in other sectors of education. Sometimes our boss tells us to be a member, and so just to keep him or her happy. And maybe things like this. How would you react to the last point there? Dr. Bakshi says there is no money to make. Yeah, and those who are in the running of the associations at various level are always aware this is one of the serious problems, challenges we have to face. Money is a big problem in running an association. But I have deliberately included this in the list because these are some of the rumors that keep circulating around. If you are a leader of an association, probably because you are making money out of it. Or sometimes some people might come to the association with a wrong expectation that there might be some money in it. And once inside they realize, but anyway, that's just the other side. The important thing is the question. There are certain things which we want and the association is not giving or not doing, then what should we do? What is our role? And there are certain suggestions about that, because if we believe that we are alert, active, engaged, informed, responsible members, then these are some of the things that we can do. And these are the things which are sort of giving back to the association. We may be somewhat critical in our approach, but that is constructive criticism, and that actually helps our association to grow. So it's not enough to always keep receiving whatever comes our way. Sometimes it's even more valuable to tell what we would like to come our way, what we would like to get. And our intentions are always honorable, aren't they? So I would like Krishna to quickly sum up what we have been doing in this session.
So very quickly I will rush you through the remaining 20 slides. So it's not just enough for just becoming a member of TA and you will get all the benefits. That doesn't guarantee. So TAs offer many opportunities and avenues for professional development, but members have to be actively engaged in that process. So TAs may not offer as many CPD opportunities as has got that potential. Again, its members have to demand the things and get the things done from TAs. And finally, the benefit is not only for members, but it's also for teachers. So teachers and teacher associations can work together and thrive. So some final words. Good TA members are active and engaging. Members and TAs enrich and strengthen each other in a virtuous cycle, and they can also go the other way around. They may also ruin each other in a vicious cycle if they don't respond to each other's needs and demands. And personal volunteerism and initiative is crucial for our lives. So thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krishna and Amol, for a very, very engaging and interactive session. There is really no need for a formal question and answer session now. I just wanted to highlight some of the key learnings or takeaways that I think came up, certainly for me. I don't know about you. I really liked the beginning where Krishna invited metaphors. There were some wonderful metaphors being thrown at us, and I would like to pitch in there with a metaphor of my own. It's like a lighthouse. Teachers' associations are like lighthouses in stormy seas. And I think essentially all those metaphors lead to the conclusion that networks are essentially about people and individuals. There was a very interesting argument that Geeta Durairajan injected into the discussions about the role of the formal and institutional framework of teachers' associations versus the more informal and social ways of professional development. And I was a little bit alarmed that if all that teachers do, even over family dinners, is talk about their lives, what happens to work-life balance then? But that's a different issue altogether. There was good I think Amol, you touched upon INET, and I think there is an increasing role of technology in teachers association activities, especially when you link it to Ma'am Bakshi, you said that it's difficult in terms of resources to run teacher associations, and I think increasingly we will be looking towards digital technologies and social networks for carrying out many of the functions that teacher associations do. We have yesterday in that session that Tim Phillips was leading on teachers associations, we spoke about a case study from British Council's project in Assam, where master trainers from Assam have come together to form a Facebook group of their own. My colleague Shubhamitra is there. Hands up, Shubhamitra. Shubhamitra will be able to tell you a bit more for those of who are interested in the Facebook community that Shubhamitra and Joydeep are part of. There's one thing that really struck me was, this is your comment, sir, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Yeah? Have I got your name right? Yeah. Teachers associations also have a very key role to play in research, in stimulating action research from classroom. And a quick plug for British Council's own English Language Teacher Research Awards that we have instituted this year in India. This is open till 25th of March. We have a tranche of research awards available for teachers. Primarily, and the awards range from starting from £500 to £5,000. And I think there are certain NCT recommendations and provisions for teachers associations, and there are talks of functional overlaps between CLRCs, the cluster level resource centers, and teacher associations in the NCT policy documents. And I would really urge people who are working with teachers associations to look up those policy recommendations, because increasingly there will be a lot of pressure for institutional pressure to create TAs and work within the institutional framework like CLRCs and block resource centers. And I would like to end by bringing to your notice, talking about an article that came out in New York Times a few weeks back. I shall tweet it, and if you follow me on Twitter, you can get a link to that article. It was a scathing review of the role of teachers' unions in Mexico, and how completely divorced they were, how completely uninterested they were about learning and teaching, and how it has gone completely pear-shaped, it seems, in Mexico. And from the comments from our colleague from Kerala, it seems these issues are there in parts of India as well. So thank you very much to Amol and Krishna for that wonderful, lively and engaging session. And there are so many questions to be answered, and I think it's very apt that we end at the cusp of a coffee break. Thank you very much.